Hollywood is known for its glitz, glamour, and constant reinvention. But for some stars, reinvention isn't just about taking on new roles or switching up their image. It's about becoming who they truly are. In the entertainment industry, where every move is scrutinized and public opinion can make or break a career, coming out as transgender and undergoing a gender transition is no small feat. These celebrities have not only made that brave journey, but also navigated the ups and downs of Hollywood in the process. Let's take a closer look at their stories, their struggles, and how transitioning impacted their careers and personal lives. Please, subscribe to the channel. Number 10, Elliot Page. Elliot Page, formerly known as Ellen Page, was already an established star when he came out as transgender in December 2020. Page made waves in Hollywood with his breakout role in Juno 2007, which earned him an Academy Award nomination, and he continued to build a successful career with roles in Inception 2010 and Netflix's hit series, The Umbrella Academy. When Page came out, it was a watershed moment not just for him but for Hollywood as a whole. In his public letter, he revealed how deeply meaningful his transition was and how it allowed him to live authentically for the first time. The public support was overwhelming, with fans and fellow celebrities alike celebrating his bravery. But the road wasn't without challenges. Transitioning in the spotlight meant that Page's every move was analyzed by both supportive and critical eyes. In Hollywood, where image is everything, coming out as transgender could have meant career suicide just a few years earlier. But thanks to a more progressive cultural shift, Page has continued to thrive. His role as Vanya Hargreaves in The Umbrella Academy was seamlessly updated to reflect his gender identity, with his character transitioning to Victor Hargreaves in Season 3. While Page has admitted to facing personal struggles during his transition, he's emerged as a powerful advocate for the transgender community. His social media presence often highlights issues facing trans people, from healthcare access to discrimination. And while Hollywood still has a long way to go in terms of representation, Page's success story is proof that authenticity can lead to not only personal happiness, but also professional growth. Number 9, Laverne Cox. Laverne Cox is arguably one of the most visible transgender women in Hollywood today. She first rose to fame with her groundbreaking role as Sophia Bursette on Netflix's Orange is the New Black, a character that allowed Cox to bring real nuanced trans representation to mainstream TV. For many, it was the first time they saw a transgender woman played by an actual transgender actor in a major series. Cox's journey has been one of breaking barriers and defying the odds. Born in Mobile, Alabama, Cox grew up in a deeply conservative environment. Transitioning wasn't just a personal journey, it was an uphill battle against societal expectations. When she finally made the decision to live as her authentic self, her struggles didn't stop. Breaking into Hollywood as a black transgender woman was no easy task. The industry wasn't exactly overflowing with roles for trans actors, and even when those roles did exist, they were often caricatures or one-dimensional stereotypes.
But Cox didn't let that stop her. Her portrayal of Sophia, a transgender inmate navigating life behind bars, earned her widespread praise and made her the first openly transgender person to be nominated for a Primetime Emmy Award in an acting category. Cox used her platform not only to showcase her acting talent, but also to become an outspoken advocate for transgender rights.
Since Orange is the New Black, Cox's career has only continued to flourish. She starred in everything from The Mindy Project to Doubt, and she made history as the first transgender person to appear on the cover of Time magazine. While the road hasn't been easy, Cox has been vocal about the discrimination she's faced both in and out of the industry. She's paved the way for future generations of trans actors and continues to push for more inclusive storytelling in Hollywood. Number 8, Cait Jenner. When Cait Jenner came out as transgender in 2015, the world was watching. As a former Olympic gold medalist and one of the most famous faces on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Jenner's transition was one of the most high-profile in history. Her journey to becoming Caitlyn was documented on her own reality series, I Am Cait, giving viewers a first-hand look at her struggles, triumphs, and the challenges of transitioning later in life. Jenner's decision to transition at the age of 65 was groundbreaking, not only because of her fame but also because she shattered the notion that transitioning was only something that young people did. Her transition sparked conversations about gender identity around the world and helped educate millions of people on what it means to be transgender. But while Jenner received overwhelming support from the LGBTQ+ community, her transition wasn't without controversy. Her political affiliations, particularly her support for the Republican Party, which has often backed anti-trans legislation, have drawn criticism from many within the trans community. Some felt that her views didn't align with the struggles faced by many transgender individuals. especially those from marginalized backgrounds. Despite the backlash, Jenner has remained a prominent figure in the trans community, using her platform to advocate for transgender rights, albeit in her own way. Her transition brought visibility to issues facing trans people, but it also showed how complex and multifaceted the trans experience can be, especially when viewed through the lens of celebrity. Number 7. Chaz Bono. Chaz Bono, the child of music icons Cher and Sonny Bono, made headlines when he transitioned in 2008. As the only child of such famous parents, Bono's journey was met with intense public scrutiny, but he handled it with grace, using his platform to educate others about the transgender experience. Bono, who was known as Chastity Bono before transitioning, had been in the spotlight from birth, making his gender transition all the more public. His journey was documented in the 2011 film Becoming Chaz, which gave an intimate look at his struggles with identity, his decision to transition, and the emotional impact it had on his family, especially his famous mother, Cher. In the documentary, Bono spoke candidly about the challenges he faced growing up, feeling disconnected from his body and identity. Transitioning in the public eye wasn't easy, but Bono has said it was necessary for his own well-being. Since then, he's become an outspoken advocate for transgender rights, using his experience to help others who are struggling with their gender identity. While Bono initially found it difficult to land roles in Hollywood, he's since made a name for himself as an actor, appearing in shows like American Horror Story. His journey is one of resilience, proving that even in an industry as image-conscious as Hollywood, it's possible to reinvent yourself and thrive. Number 6. Alexis Arquette. Before her passing in 2016, Alexis Arquette was a trailblazer for trans representation in Hollywood. Part of the famous Arquette family, siblings include David, Patricia, and Rosanna Arquette, Alexis was already a known figure in the entertainment world before she transitioned in 2006. Throughout the 90s and early 2000s, Alexis appeared in a number of films, including Pulp Fiction, The Wedding Singer, and Bride of Chucky, where she often played eccentric, edgy characters. But her transition marked a turning point, both in her personal life and in her career. While Alexis was open about her journey and became a vocal advocate for transgender rights, Hollywood wasn't as welcoming as it should have been. In an industry still struggling with accepting trans actors in mainstream roles, Alexis found herself typecast or overlooked entirely. However, she didn't let that stop her from being herself. She became a pioneering figure, speaking out about the importance of transgender representation long before it became a hot topic in Hollywood. Though she may not have had the mainstream success of her siblings, Alexis left an indelible mark on the entertainment industry, paving the way for future trans actors to be seen and heard. Number 5. Nomi Clayton. Nomi Clayton's rise to fame came with her role as Nomi Marks in the critically acclaimed Netflix series Sense8, a show that pushed boundaries when it came to representation of LGBTQ+ characters. Nomi was a transgender woman, and in a groundbreaking move, Clayton, who is herself transgender, was cast in the role. This marked a significant moment for Hollywood, as it showed that transgender actors could play authentic transgender roles. Clayton's portrayal of Nomi was hailed as one of the most authentic representations of a trans character in television history. She brought depth, vulnerability, and strength to the role, making Nomi one of the show's most beloved characters. Clayton's work on Sense8 helped challenge the long-standing Hollywood tradition of casting cisgender actors in transgender roles. But despite her critical success, Clayton has spoken about the struggles she's faced in the industry. Even after Sense8, she found it difficult to land roles outside of the LGBTQ+ genre. Hollywood's slow pace in embracing trans actors for non-trans roles has been a source of frustration for Clayton and many of her peers. However, Clayton continues to break boundaries. She's appeared in shows like Designated Survivor and is constantly pushing for more visibility and representation for trans actors in Hollywood. Her work is a reminder that while the industry has made strides, there's still a long way to go in terms of inclusivity. Number 4. MJ Rodriguez. MJ Rodriguez made history in 2021 as the first transgender woman to be nominated for an Emmy in a leading role for her performance as Blanca in Pose. The FX series, which centers on the LGBTQ+ ballroom culture of the 1980s and 90s, put transgender actors front and center in a way that Hollywood had rarely done before. Rodriguez's portrayal of Blanca, a house mother who cares deeply for her children, struck a chord with viewers and critics alike. Rodriguez's journey hasn't been easy. Like many transgender actors, she faced rejection early in her career simply because of her identity. Hollywood wasn't ready to embrace trans actors in the way it is now, and Rodriguez had to fight for roles that would showcase her talent. But with Pose, she found a platform that allowed her to shine. Rodriguez's success on Pose has opened doors for her in a way that many trans actors before her didn't experience. She's become a trailblazer, showing that transgender women of color can lead major television series and receive critical acclaim for their work. But beyond her acting, Rodriguez is also an advocate for trans rights and visibility, using her newfound fame to speak out on issues facing the transgender community.